And welcome, curling fans, to the Utica Curling Club channel. Tonight we're bringing you the championship playoff final of the Mickey Haase Women's League here at the Utica Curling Club. Roger Rowlett here with Mary Jane Walsh to call the action. Our final will be conducted on sheet 4. And we'll set up the rock assignments for you and introduce the teams as soon as we know who's got hammer. Looks like Team Palazzoli, skipped by Kathy Palazzoli. Third, Karen Barnes. Second, Barb Felice. Lead, Cindy Ciarelli. We'll have the Redstones and Hammer here in the first end of play. Their opponents are skipped by Naoka Law, playing the Blue Rocks. Third, Cindy Brown. Second, Cindy Whittish. Lead, Monica Spath. They're playing the Blue Rocks. Kathy Palazzoli with the Red Rocks here in the first end. We'll have the last rock advantage. And we're underway.
Cindy Ciarelli will deliver her first rock, and it's really good to see her back playing with the women in the evenings. She has not been for a number of years. She will show you our shouldn't say patented, but our alternative delivery designed here by a member of the Utica Curling Club known as the Utica Knee Slide.
So just a little slow out here in the first end. First attempt and a center guard just undercurled a bit. And that stone thrown toward the wings came up a little bit short, stopped just over the center line.
And I dare say with only one game out on the ice tonight, it may stay slower longer than the gals are used to.
Yeah, it might be to the second end until it starts to speed up to close to normal. Second stone delivered by lead Monica Spath. And this one also just over the hog. So a little bit slow to start here. Players will need to adjust to the ice speed.
Okay, we've got a broom switcheroo going on here. Not sure what the problem was with the one Kathy had.
And that one short, unfortunately, goes right over the hog line. Probably would have been nice to leave that one short. Now there's lots of guards in play. Not the way you diagram it if you have the hammer in the first end. Now it's going to be the first hog to the trough. Get an advantage this end.
Well, let's see if I can get a time on how this ice is actually running.
Cindy Whittish with her first, going wide around the wide corners, but this one,
ooh, this one's
almost
go
off
visiting.
the sheet. Yeah, just out. I think that one touched the sidelines.
Well, apparently not.
I thought that one came over the sideline.
Well, Cindy Brown was right over the rock, so.
Yeah.
She would. Oh, it did. Okay.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that crossed the sidelines. Looking at our replay here on our video. Now Barb Fleece with an out-turn draw. Coming around that pair of red stones.
This one's got a little bit more legs. That's 12 seconds, hog to hog.
Yeah, so we're basically hack plus weight now to get to the house. That one actually cruises into the top 12. And is maybe partially buried. You can see enough of it that Naoka Law is going to ask Barb Felice to chip that out of play. Or sorry, Cindy Whittish to chip that out of play.
Well, that does not look like it's got a lot.
Looks a little wide. They might be able to go around.
Last thing they want to do is tap it up under better buried.
Yeah, I thought they had a chance to go around that stone in behind. Waited just a little late for that option. Corner frozen. Could be used to remove that stone later in the end. Team Palazzoli lying shot. Top 12. Now Barb Felice going around the intern side.
Karen Barnes immediately on it, which with this ice is probably the best thing you can do no matter how much weight you think your delivery has.
Probably be hard to oversweep it here this first end.
Yep. That one was
one of the things we always talk about is more rocks are underswept than overswept. You can win a bar bet at your club almost any night betting on underswept and overswept rocks. The underswept ones will outnumber the overswept ones by a pretty wide margin.
Especially if you're sweeping for Roger.
If you're sweeping for any skip, you better be sweeping. And you can't fix heavy. Heavy's not fixable. We're up to thirds rocks now. Cindy Brown for Team Law. They're looking at Team Palazzoli sitting 1. But they do have a blue rock corner frozen on it. Hit that with enough force, they should be able to remove the red rock from play. Looks like they might be trying to come around the whole shooting match and just tap the red out straight away. And there's enough room. I don't know if this is going to have enough weight.
It's 11 seconds, so it's got more, but
it's just going to tap it up. Tapped it up to the back 8.
Of course, that does provide backing for the next rock that's going to be tapped.
There are 2 blue rocks now available to be tapped in.
Cindy has a rooting section here she was just waving to.
Third, Karen Barnes with her first, looking to guard those 2 blue raises. There's a ton of junk up front this end. Ice was a bit slow. This rock is going to over-curl and may not get across. It's going to contact the stone, so that puts it in play. If a stone doesn't cross the hog line but touches a stone in play, it is in play. And that one just kissed the red stone.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, Naoka's looking at a double tap. I think the angle tap is still there on the outside, but these are kind of lined up nice.
They are. Of course, they've just thrown down the other side twice in a row already. They know the line. Cindy throws the same weight she threw before. She would have been fine.
Yeah, you need to throw board weight here. You got to move 3 stones. On this slow ice. And they're just going to catch a corner of it. And that
which will cause a problem for any future raise unless she can sweep it by. And she did. So that's good.
You know, you got several raises over there. You got double and single raises on the right-hand side. Now, blue has lots of options to try to score. And at the moment, it looks pretty tough for Team Palazzoli to get their deuce this end. They'll be looking at a long red raise for their deuce. Right now they're content to guard. They're not opening up.
Well, perhaps because the reality is it'd be very difficult to open up. Got a lot of curl on that side of the ice.
Indeed. With enough weight, I think the blue raise may still be there. You can hit the outer blue. I think if I were Naoka, I wouldn't want to open up anything with a raise, a missed raise, because that just gives Palazzoli team the chance to draw in for two. But playing these double raises out here probably doesn't create any hazard for it. If you miss the raise, you're still going to have it all blocked up.
So for you were suggesting not trying the raise on the left that they just tried.
Yeah, if you play the raise on the left and you happen to open up the rings, then
right.
Palazzoli can come in and sit for two. And right now you look like you're holding them to a very difficult two. They have to raise one of their own long guards. This is pretty risk-free. Even if you miss this shot and you chip the red or you don't make your raise, it's the right side is still blocked off. Alcala with her first. Skip rock here in the first end. A little messy with the ice being slow. A lot of guards up front. Stones away. Got good weight. And the question is it going to curl up enough? Going to go around the whole shooting match. So the weight was right. That was just barely through the ring's weight. That might have raised those stones in for shot if they'd made contact. But no harm done.
Well, it looks like Kathy's going to guard again. She's always got that red for later.
Both
two reds for later.
Or you could just go where Naoka went and draw in behind. Just needs full 12 to be second rock.
Mm-hmm. But with that ice, I think she's calling for a guard. Could be wrong.
Kathy will have an opportunity to draw for two out wide, with those blue rocks not being well positioned, just inside the 12-foot. Palazzoli already sitting shot in the back. First skip rock, first in for Kathy Palazzoli.
Yeah, not putting a broom to it makes me think they wanted the guard. And they could do a nice job for her. No, not enough weight.
Went in behind, so Naoka has another opportunity to try that double raise. And I think I'd give it a go. Say, the last rock they threw, the weight was pretty good. Maybe they took a little too much ice. They have a chance to go to school on their first shot now. See if they can make it better. Naoka with her last rock here in the first end without hammer. Looking to make a double raise. At least cut down the scoring area. Up and down on this, and this is also wide. This may go around. No, it's going to make contact, but not enough. Raise it up to better in the 12-foot. And now a couple options for Kathy Palazzoli to get her deuce. Could play that wide draw to the 12-foot on the right-hand side with the outturn. They're going to look at this in-turn tap, this long raise.
Shorter than the one on the center line.
Yeah, much shorter, and there's a lot of catchers. Can catch it on their own stone as long as she doesn't hit it too hard. And a lot of rings to work with here. You really have 8 feet to work with, anywhere in the white. And the 8-foot will do it. Last rock, first end. Kathy Palazzoli.
Call from the sweepers is it's light.
And I don't think it has enough weight to move. Not even going to get there. Very stiff out there. So a score of 1 in the first end for Kathy Palazzoli. Deuce was a bit elusive with all of those guards in play. So after 1 end of play, Kathy Palazzoli 1. Now Alcala 0.
Well, let's see what the second end brings. I dare say, coming back the other direction, it's still going to be a bit slow. I think we'll start to see action pick up in the third.
So now Alcala here in the second end playing the Blue Rocks will have the last stone advantage this end. Trailing 1-0. Mission accomplished in the first end. Got a force.
Yes, the object, when you don't have hammer, is not necessarily always to steal.
Yeah, winning combination is take 2 with hammer and give up 1 without. Hard to lose a game that way. And just over the hog line, but right on the center line, so good center guard. And Alcala is going to go right around.
Although unless there's a second tighter guard, stone should be accessible.
Yeah, I like coming around these high center guards with hammer. I think they benefit the hammer team more than the team without hammer.
Yep, this is going to be another guard. Yeah, that was 14 seconds hog to hog.
You know, later in the game, that's easily in the house. And Cindy Cirilli with her second. This one's looking really good. It's going sideways. They can finish this rock. They'll be fully buried. Just didn't quite have the legs to get fully buried, but it is shot rock. Just 2-3 feet more weight, that would have been buried top 4. Coming in beautifully. Monica Spath will now be asked to remove that stone from play. Maybe get a little roll under behind the center guard. Nice lightweight takeout. You'd love to catch that on the inside and roll underneath. Sweeping hard to get this by the guard. Going to catch the inside, not with a lot of weight. Just enough to get it through though, and rolled it about half under. So nice shot there by lead Monica Spath. Now sitting shot. partly covered under that high center. And that's where that high center comes into play. It's just enough in the way to protect some stones from being easily removed, but not tight enough that it cuts off your draw path if you need to get your one later in the end.
But with it stiff, of course, comes less curl.
And that one just sat right in the open back house. Hate to chase rocks back there. You got a couple choices. It's not wrong to take that stone off here early in the game. Want to be aggressive, you can come around top 4. That stone in the back of the house won't be going anywhere.
And it's always available to use as backing if necessary.
Yep. It's currently shot rock, but behind tee line. So Cindy Whittish being asked to wrap this one around for shot. Boy, the line looks really good. Is it going to stop in time? It is going to get partially buried, but it's shot.
And we can see the ice is picking up. That was a 1325 hog.
And we can see we've got ourselves a little Christmas tree going there. So those blue stones are nicely protected by that high red guard. But an opportunity here for Barb Felice just to come down and sit on that shot rock and neutralize it. This one's staying out wide. Just now starting to come in. Don't know if they took too much ice or maybe threw a little wide, but that one couldn't come back. Now Naoka wants to remove that stone, potentially dangerous sitting in the top of the rings, but it also offers her an opportunity to hit and roll inside. They can always come in and hit and roll in behind.
If that continues to hang wide, that does not bode well for blue.
That would not be good. That would jam on the back.
Actually, if it's wide enough, you could sweep it by.
They just did not get it over the top there, and that was a costly miss. You could hit that narrow, but on the inside. Now Team Palazzoli is hitting shot on the back 4. Looks like Naoka is now second rock, still in the back with a blue stone. All these rocks are behind tee, though. So Karen Barnes being asked to guard the path to those 2 stones in the back. Nothing wrong with going just top 4, half buried either. And this one may just barely get over the hog line. Did get it over.
Well, it's a guard. And it's going to force Naoka to the other side.
Well, the good news is all those stones are behind tee, so they're potential catchers if you can drop one in the top of the 4-foot. Still have a chance to score this end, maybe even get your deuce. Cindy Brown with the draw come around attempt.
Better get on it, ladies.
This is a fresh patch of ice out here. They haven't played this end. And that'll come up short. So this end turn side of the ice is still a bit fresh. This is fairly slow. The outturn side with the right-handers is a little bit quicker since they've been playing down this side most of the end. This in-turn side should pick up as they throw a few more stones down. Now Karen Barnes trying to get in first, or at least cover the draw path. Might need to open some things up here. Don't have really a path in. Because looking to move those two blue stones in front. Need to open up a draw path to that stone on the back four. Cindy Brown with her second. Looking to clear some guards here. Not a lot of weight here. And rearrange them a little bit. Opened up an angle raise, but still no draw path to outcount Shot Rock in the back. I think Kathy Palazzoli can just throw a guard over that blue stone. Throw a guard up here. And there's no easy path in. And that's a nicely placed guard. That pretty much covers the raise. Can only see like a quarter of the rock at best, maybe not even that. So Naoka Law with her first rock is looking at some pretty severe guardage up in front of the house.
A new curling term, huh? Yeah. Guardage?
There's a lot of guardage up there. I think I'd be tempted to move that high red guard on the right-hand side.
Make her put it back.
Make her put it back. I mean, I think that's your only path in. If you could get rid of this guy, right, and get rid of this red stone, then you would have a draw path to the 4-foot, maybe. At least you'd have a shot. Real tough to raise this blue stone they're looking at. It just sits dead behind the guard. I think they're looking at clearing this stone out of the way, thinking that if they run it into this pile of blues, it doesn't hurt them, and then open that blue stone up for a raise later. Real tough to get around this to raise that stone, though. They can only see just a tiny bit. And Nyoka's coming out of the left-handed hack, which should make this even more difficult. This would be the left-hander out turn, and the curl even less. Right-hander would have an advantage getting to the blue stone. Throwing quite a bit of weight here.
Well, if you're going to move some granite, you do have to.
Looks like maybe she was playing a gem and going to wind up clearing the wide red. Oh no, got by everything. So they did get a piece of the blue.
Cursor.
It doesn't. Well, there's now an open draw path, so there's no reason that Kathy Palazzoli shouldn't just stuff one on the forefoot here. You don't need a guard. You could just bring this right in, as long as you bury it.
Absolutely.
Throw this thing to the top 12, throw it to the sweepers. Get great lines, drag it right to the top 4, and I don't think Naoka can score.
She does have to get through the port and behind. Well, no, that's a red, isn't it?
Yeah, if you get behind it, I think you're golden. The thing you do not want to do is open up that port.
No.
To make Naoka's draw easier.
No, she's throwing the weight to come around.
Looks like a lot of weight, so this side's starting to warm up a bit. It's coming down though.
That's really quite remarkable.
And it overcurls. And is that...
You get a tap, there you go.
Yep, and that's going to block the port. That does the job. Well, what you got now is you've got that angle raise.
Got an in-off on the other side.
Or you've got the in-off. Yeah. The in-off looks easier. See if we look at the near house, we'll get a better view of this. So this in-off works just to get shot. Not playing for the double, just looking to come in. And well, if you could play the double, you'd score 2, but that's a tough double. Slow ice. The other option is to get that rock on the outside and angle raise that to the forefoot.
They're looking at the one above that.
If they can see it, that one too. I don't know how much they can see of this top stone that one goes to. I don't think they can see very much of this stone. Take a look in our long view. And this, you can only see a half a rock there. That's a little tough.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
Now you might be able to get there.
Problem is, even if you hit what you can see of it, you're going to kick it more sideways than back.
I think if you hit what you can see, you're probably okay. Because that's maybe half a rock.
Yeah, they're now lining up the other one. That makes more sense. If you're going to come this route.
They're both tough.
Yeah. I'd be playing the in-off all day long.
Yeah, the in-off is not
you have
pretty forgiving. You got a ton of catchers, so you know if you take a look at you know, you could hit this thing anywhere from a half a rock to a quarter rock, and you could probably spin back in here, right? Mm-hmm. You got a lot of catchers in this back.
You do have to throw enough weight, and they just may be totally unfamiliar with that line.
Yep.
So
you do have to throw quite a bit of weight to make this shot. You need to hit about half to 2/3 of a rock. You're going to play the angle raise. Shots away. You got to throw some weight out here. This has got to be fresh ice.
Up and down. Ooh, it's hanging.
Yeah, and just overswept. I guess they misjudged the amount of curl. Yeah. They had no idea how much it was going to curl out there.
And I don't think they were sweeping enough to really affect it.
Yeah, we were
that
up
much.
And down.
They were down only twice.
Yeah. So a steal of 1 for Team Palazzoli. They'll take a 2-0 lead after 2 ends of play. Now Kalal playing the Blue Rocks. So I'll have a hammer again here in the 3rd end.
Hopefully things will have sped up just a little bit.
Got off to a promising start last end, getting a stone buried underneath that high guard, but went awry with the takeout, which jammed an opposition rock in for shot position. Try again here this 3rd end. This center guard attempt is going to over curl. And that's a gift for Team Law, so they can now use that corner.
Wasn't too bad a weight.
Weight was perfect. It was just a little bit narrow. And now a chance for Nauka Law to use that corner guard to set up her deuce, or better. If you're really aggressive here, when the opposition gifts you a corner guard, you can throw a second one on your own for free and set yourself up a potential big end if you can make some shots. But coming around is just fine here. That sets up a potential deuce at the least.
And if you're a little light, you get your second guard.
Yeah, sometimes having two corners is nice. The pros do that a lot because they're too good at making runbacks. But at this level, I think one guard's good. And that's nice and buried. It's a little deep, but it's behind the guards, so good start.
I know this looks an awful lot like the last end start, other than the corner guard.
Team Palazzoli is going to throw another center. And then I think the play is to get another stone around that corner guard a little bit higher.
Other turn this time.
It took pretty tight ice on that center guard. It only took about a foot of ice.
Well, that raises the question on the first one. Was she narrow, or did it just overcurl more than they expected?
No, definitely the rock came up just off the center line. So now two corner guards in play. Shaping up well for Team Law. Looking to get around the corner again. This time maybe go top 12, top 8. You want to provide some shelter for that rock in the back so they can't freeze to it later. I think Nauka's calling for this top 12. I think I'd bring it a bit deeper just to cut off the draw pass to that back stone. That back stone's a liability, although it could count.
Well, let's see how the ice is running here.
I think biting top 8 here would be really good. Maybe show them about a half a stone. They're around the corner. Question is, where is it going to stop?
The ice is definitely picked up.
And this one's going to join its partner in the back. It's going to overcurl too.
Wow.
Now there's two stones in the back 8. Little pocket down there. That pocket will provide an out for Team Palazzoli, and they're going to take advantage right now. Generally, you don't like coming around these corners without hammer, but in this case, with those two stones in the back 8, this provides a way to neutralize these rocks.
That's curling hard. Have we gone by the guard?
They're just going to squeak by, but this is going to overcurl as well.
Wow.
And it's going to be shot.
Yeah, that was 13 and a half, and
Yes.
they're just behind T.
Yep, so it's almost up to speed. That's probably 23 and a half seconds from hog to stop.
Very good line. Good line, Dylan.
All right, Cindy Whittish, you're going to keep coming around this corner. Get corner frozen on that red would be a good spot.
Well, if they keep coming down that same line, it's going to pick up in a
It
hurry.
will pick up quickly. This one may overcurl. No, they got it by. And if they could just kiss that red, that would be gorgeous.
Got enough weight to do
And
it.
they did. Oh, but they're going to have now 3 stones behind T, and that's a huge pocket. You can't miss that one. I think if I were Team Palazzoli, I'd be locking a stone on a couple of those rocks. They'll never get it out. And neutralize those 3 rocks in the back. They're lined up like connect the dots back there.
Okay, taking more ice.
The only thing you don't want to do here is be short. You just nestle into those rocks. And keep you out of trouble this end, and the weight looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was just about 13 seconds.
Don't want to bounce here. You just want to nestle in. And that's just gorgeous. All right, behind tee line, you're playing for one. Not much choice here. Naoka just has to keep playing the Freeze Fest.
Just needs something to hit to stop.
This one's got a little more weight. Going to dislodge this red. This is not going to be a bad result at all. And blue shot. It might be two. Let's take a peek here. And they unlock the back, so that red stone no longer has any protective backing.
Great result.
It was a very nice shot. And it looks like blue is actually sitting two now, and this stone is a little vulnerable. A lot of blue counters. Tons of blue counters in play. Karen Barnes trying to come around that corner again. Looks like they're trying to freeze to their own. Use their own stone for backing, and is that going to bounce? No, that's going to nestle up very nicely.
Yeah, we're almost 24 seconds down that line now.
Now, blue is still shot in the back, but they could draw down again to that red stone. Looked like Naoka was calling for a guard. I think I'd draw right down to the stone that was just thrown by Karen. Lock on here, you would be sitting two.
Cindy did throw guard weight, delivering what was asked for.
And this is going to cruise into the house, and the question is where.
She's a little wider line this time, though.
Yep, they were
each one has gone out a little bit more, so you're going to be about top 12, top 8.
And they're guarding the stone in the back, and that's a little dangerous, I think, if they can get to the stone in the back. The good news for Naoka is I think these draw paths are really tight with the corner guards. I think the way the rocks are curling, you're almost on the guards to get around. You'd love to get frozen on that back four rock.
Yeah, the only one that's open is back 8, and Kathy very wisely is just choosing to remove that guard.
Yeah. Got to be careful here. You don't want to jam, and the way they're peeling this, they could be peeling the blue stone right into their reds. So you want to be really careful. You don't want to hit this here and jam that into your red stone. It would be catastrophic. Yeah, I'm just going to noodle it.
Good result.
Well, the unfortunate part is that blue stone is now preventing the draw or freeze to the back reds. Naoka's going to throw another guard. All these rocks are behind tee line, though, all the scoring rocks.
Did she call for the guard?
Yeah, she's calling for another guard.
Boy, it's not curling much there then with that ice.
I think this path's going to start speeding up. Down about 3 times down this path.
Yeah.
This one's going to come right to the back.
8, top back 4 maybe even.
It's going to go right to the back.
Yipper.
Barely room for two there. Kathy now looking to freeze to the two-shot stones.
Just follow the leader. She knows the line.
Yeah, they've seen it now 3 times, and hopefully have a good understanding of the speed down this line. It's a pretty critical shot here. You got to get frozen solid here. If you corner this, you should be able to. Should be able to blast out the corner frozen stone. Sit 2. That looks like quite a bit of weight. Waiting for the stone to curl up. Still pretty wide.
Gonna pick it.
It's gonna just chip it, and not sure who shot at this point. Let's take a peek. Oh, it looks like blue is definitely sitting 2.
Blue.
So
Skips
three
first.
more rocks to come. Dangerous situation. I think Naoka now has to go top 8, top 4 or something. Somewhere in here, right, to prevent a draw to that pocket, right?
Yeah.
If you're higher, it'd be too easy to come around it. You know, if you put one up here, say you put one in the top 12, I think you can get around this and get frozen. Kill the whole end. So I think you got to get tight here.
Or at least bite the 8.
Yeah, let Kathy whale at one, and then hope you still have a draw for 2 or 3.
Let's look at the long view and just check, make sure that red guard is not in the way.
Now there's a completely open path now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think biting top 4 here is nearly ideal. The weight looks pretty good here.
No, it's
light.
light.
It's light. Yeah, the rock is starting to die.
I think she was out a little wider.
Yeah, might have got out onto the fresh pebble. Now there's an opportunity for Kathy to just simply lock a stone on those 2 shots in the back. That'll kill the end for Team Law.
Yeah, that's too bad. A little bit of nerves, I think. Everybody likes to play for this medal, which is named for a long-time, much beloved member of the club, former member of the club.
Yeah, one of our very few honorary lifetime members. Curled for many, many years. Curled into her 90s.
Mm-hmm. With a lift delivery.
Yep, with a lift delivery.
And she must have weighed all of 95 pounds.
I was going to say, probably didn't weigh 3 times the rock, right? And this rock is hanging. Is it going to get by the guard?
No.
It is going to clip it. So a break for Naoka.
Who can draw one in for...
Can draw in for 3, although the draw path is a little tight on both sides now. They're sitting 2, so you don't want to mess that up. Boy, I tell you what would happen if you just run this blue rock straight back. Can you chip that red over enough? You just score a bucket.
Let's take a close-up look.
Run this rock straight back. It'll go there. This goes out of play. This one goes to the side. You might score 4. You might score 4.
Boy, the angles have got to be just right, though.
Very little risk. You're never losing this stone. This stone can't disappear ever.
Right.
If you could run this stone into this one and lose that, but you still score 2.
2.
I think there's 0 risk in running that blue.
And with this ice, no, I think they're...
This draw is very difficult. They're trying to sneak a stone around here.
I would have come the other way.
They're trying to sneak a stone in this way. Well, this is dangerous. You could raise that red rock. I think this is a 0 risk direction. But I think running that blue straight back is a winner. It's a low risk way to get 3. And you probably get your 2 even if you mess it up.
But being a left-handed curler, this outturn is not going to curl as much on this. Not a problem for line, obviously. They're on it right away. Ooh, they're still on the red. Must be they were on it for weight.
Yeah, they had to go for weight.
Oh, yeah, look at that crank hard at the end. Yep.
And just not enough weight. Maybe a missed opportunity there. They weren't looking at the raise takeout. But nevertheless, a good end for Team Law. They pick up a deuce. And even a score after 3 ends. All tied, 2-2. Heading into the 3rd end. Team Palazzoli with the red rocks with the last stone advantage in the 4th end coming back to the glass. Here in the Mickey Haase playoff final for 2018.
And we're away with Monica Spath delivering the first rock of the 4th end? 4th end, yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Nice solid weight takeout by Cindy Wittish. Hits and rolls to the corner.
Try Cindy Ciarelli.
Oh, sorry.
Too many Cindys.
Too many Cindys out there. Cindy Ciarelli. And the red team. Nice solid weight. Rolled it out to the wings. Now that's going to force Nyoka to throw the center guard back. And this guard attempt also slips into the rings. This will give Team Palazzoli a chance to sit 2. Not sure what the caller is. I think they were drawing to the wing.
Draw. They're going to split the house. Yep. Which would enable, I don't know if this is smart or not, says the non-skip over here, enable Nye to draw down to her own, and the force is on.
Well, you're leaving shot rock. You're just letting them hit a stone in line 1 and 2. That's the simplest way, as long as you can hit. Just allows you to eliminate some rocks. I'm not sure that'll be enough ice for this inside out. It curls very hard in this direction.
Which means they may be setting up another jam.
I'm not sure you hit the rock unless you throw enough weight. I think with normal weight, you could almost throw center line out here.
She did move it over.
Yep,
Give her some more.
that's a little more. Need to be pretty firm here.
And Cindy came right up center.
It was wide, so this may work.
It's just riding that center line.
Well, she was on the other side of center. Starting to come now. And it's going to catch a piece. That's just fine. So yeah, I think if you came just up the center line, not on the other side, the weight would be just about right. Didn't remove it from play, unfortunately, so now a chance to sit 3, spread. No reason not to hit that rock in the back. Yeah, I think that stone was flicked out a bit on the release, yes. Okay, a chance for Team Law to extricate themselves a bit here. They're going to try to draw in and sit 2. I'd be nervous about leaving all those red rocks around.
Gotta go, guys.
I think you want this one on the rings for sure. Didn't really guard the rock in the back, and it's still wide open. Barb Felice should be able to tap this out, but this one also looks a little wide. Not going to curl up from there. That has tended to be a straight spot on all of our sheets in the second half of this first half of the season. So now Naoka has a chance to get around that center guard and provide herself with a little bit of safety here. Sit 1 and 2. So a couple misses by Team Palazzoli. They've turned a really good situation into one they may be struggling to score. Love to sink this one top 4 buried, but this one also looks a little hot.
Mm-hmm. That was my first thought when she came out of the ice. Didn't get a clean click on it. Oh yeah.
This one's going to go right through if it doesn't chip something. It looks like it's going to catch a piece of the blue in the back. So
yeah,
they're 1 and 2.
Pocket.
The good news is those will be, well, they're doubleable actually. I was going to say they're difficult to double, but I don't think so.
And Karen can bring some weight.
Yeah, that looks like it's a pretty thin double. You wind up being behind T though. So I think Kathy Palazzolo is kind of looking just to start over by getting top 4 here, but we'll see where this rock runs. They're sweeping it to get it by. Looks like they got plenty of room.
No problems there.
Plenty of room. Starting to bury. They're going to bring this right to the lid.
Nice shot.
And that's, yeah, it's half buried. Top 4.
Pickable.
Well, the good news for Naoka, I think, is that it's they've got the 2 rocks in the back to count out those edge rocks. I think your safety shot here is just to freeze to the top stone and cut down the scoring area. Then worry about if you're trying to steal the end later. You could chip this out. If you do chip it out and you don't want to wreck the guard. got plenty of weight. I don't think that needs it for line. It's going to slide by. That'll join the others in the back.
Again, that slightly little straight spot is catching them a little by surprise.
Right.
You're expecting the curl hard at the end, which these rocks will do.
Yeah, if you take wider ice, it actually comes through that straight spot and curls up nice. If you take the tighter line, it tends to run very straight. So now a chance for Kathy Palazzoli's team to get another rock on the top 4. This one also looks very strong. But they took enough ice, they picked up a little curl. Is it going to catch anything? Also, that's going to chip and roll away for third rock. So unfortunately for Nyoka, it chipped the shot rock over just a little bit, so that's now extremely difficult to chip out of play. Only see about 1/8 of a rock.
So your best bet is either
I'd freeze right on top of it.
Yes, and you're doing a setup shot. I don't know, that doesn't look like a lot of ice for freeze.
Well, if they're playing the straight line, this may work. This is down the straight path. I prefer playing the wide path in. At least you can control the rock with your broom in terms of curl. Here, you're going to get what you throw. Both of them will get to the same spot, but I think the wide route gives you a little more room for error.
Yeah, she's throwing the chip, I think, with that weight.
Nyoka Law with her first this end, and just going to hang on that spot. Let you take down the weight. Is this going to come over enough? It's going to take a piece of it, and it's going to move it. Did move it into the open. Now Nyoka's hitting second and fourth rock. Team Palazzoli is hitting first and third. I think your best bet's to ignore that red rock. You could just throw this out-turn draw.
Right, I was going to say.
Christmas tree it.
Sit 2.
Throw this
Can't take
out-turn
them both
draw.
away.
Yeah, Christmas tree. You're giving Nyoka the in-turn, but I think anything she throws, you'll be able to chip out unless it's absolutely perfect. They're going to play the in-turn draw here to go top 4, but that's going to leave a hit and roll for Nyoka with her next.
Well, she could also just simply freeze to the inside corner of that red.
You could, but I think to eliminate risk, I think you want to remove it and roll. Freeze would be fine. Difficult execution. The hit and roll is probably a bit easier. Make either one. Get you out of trouble. I think the thought process is you don't want to drop 3 if you miss the shot.
Exactly.
If you play the hit and don't get the roll, at least you're only dropping 2. So first skip rock for Kathy Palazzoli. Looking to come down top 4. And this one hasn't taken any curl yet. They're sweeping it to get it there. And it's going to sit for shot.
For second, t'other.
And it's shot rock. Now if you can throw the weight there, maybe there's not a double. I just want to see how much you can see behind that center guard, but Let's take a look at our dual screen. I think it's there. If you could throw enough weight there as a double, and there's certainly a hidden flop. If you don't get the double, you'd be dead frozen on second stone. So here's what you can do. You can come down and flop here. And if you throw it hard enough, you get a double. And if you just get the hidden flop, you're frozen for shot. And that looks like the money shot there. And you can make that with a variety of weights. If you're very confident in your draw weight, you could even draw a corner frozen to the top stone, and you'd never be able to remove the blue stone from play. If you get corner frozen here, can't be removed.
But given
It'll
that
always
ice,
jam.
yeah, given that ice, it looks like they're going for the hidden flop,
Yeah, it looks like a soft weight hit and flop, and that will work beautifully.
and that's a shot that Naoka has no trouble throwing.
Right, she can definitely throw the
She's
weight
thrown that
required for
against
this.
us in mixed doubles many a time.
Yeah. The only question is whether they're going to get caught in the straight spot here, because they are taking ice down this funny spot on the ice. It looks like this is curling. Now it's coming over. And they like it. And this is going to be perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Well done.
Well, we diagrammed it here. So there is a little bit of curl in that spot if you throw the right weight. That was probably bumper down weight.
But again, she's a lefty. That's her in turn. Yes, wasn't
No,
that her?
that's her out turn.
That was her
actually.
out
That'll
turn,
run
actually.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the down weight. Still can get a deuce here. You just need to chip this out far enough and not roll off the 4-foot.
Question is, will it just jam?
Well, it'll jam, but I don't think it'll jam for a shot. It'll go against the blue in the back. So let's take a look at our house diagram. You just want to come down with, say, back 12 weight. You're going to roll to this spot here, and this is going to jam in the back for a third shot.
Yeah. Tough angles, though.
Yep, you got
over curl, under curl, you're jamming.
Yep. And if
solid on your blue or on your own red.
Yeah, you'll probably roll away too far. You may only get the one, because if you hit that too hard, then this stone moves as well. Might be a tough deuce. Might be there. But you're right. This jam is.
It's got a couple different ways to jam.
Well, the jam is going to prevent you from rolling too far to get your deuce. So if you roll very far at all, you'll never get two. This is probably just a shot for one. You just need to poke this in the back without disturbing your red stone. Line looks pretty good. Do they have enough weight? They do not. It's going to be a steal of one. That was a really good effort. Just needed a little more weight, and they might have made that. So a beautifully placed hit and roll by an Alcala with her last. Results in a steal of one. She leads 3-2 here after 4 ends of play. Here in the 5th end, Kathy Palazzoli and her team, playing the Red Rocks, will have the last stone advantage as we start the second half of this 8-end game. Monica Spath with her first. That looks like that's going to slip into the rings again. Broom goes right down to play the hit and roll with Cindy Ciarelli. Nice solid weight. Looking to roll to the outside again. Still got a good piece. This is going to may hang around. Nope, that's going to roll out. Just a little too thin. Couldn't quite hold that. Two stones thrown. Now we start over here in the fifth end. Monica Spath will try to throw this center guard attempt a little bit shorter. Sweepers are walking briskly, and I think that's also going to drop in the house, if not through. And it's going to be a hanger in the back. So that's a very non-threatening rock, a chance for Kathy Palazzoli to throw
Get her guards up.
Corner guard up. Whenever your opposition throws a non-threatening rock and you've got hammer, it gives you a chance to put up that corner without much risk. That rock on the back 12 is not likely to score. And this corner guard is going to go in.
Sweeping the bejesus out of it, and this one's sailing. I think everybody's like, oh, okay, now we're up to normal. Yeah. Unless she asked for it on tee. I did not see the call.
I think she was looking for a corner guard, but...
he says to put it up first and hope you get a chance to guard it second.
Yeah, now we should chase this rock off. Yep, going to go aggressive. We're going to look for a center guard here. We're going to ignore that rock in the wings. If you're a defensive-minded skip, you'd probably run that rock off the 12-foot. If you're more offensive-minded or don't think your lead can make that hit out there, you just put the center guard up and deal with that rock later, if ever. This looks like a nicely placed center guard. Touching the center line. A little more than halfway in.
And Kathy's going to make use of it.
Yep, aggressive move with hammer. Figure you use their center guard, sit one behind and one in the wings. Get your deuce that way. Barb Felice being asked to go around.
She's going to be it.
This one's wide and maybe a little bit heavy. Mostly just heavy. Curled up to the right spot. It's directly behind the center guard, but it's a little deep. Nevertheless, Team Palazzoli is sitting 2. And so now we're in the battle to get around the center guard. Top 4 Barry to be good.
Yeah, the second is asking to come the other way. There's a case where they know the line with the outturn.
Yeah, they just saw the outturn. They saw Barb Felice's shot.
Twice. 3 times.
Well, on this end, they can look and see where the stone wound up. It wound up perfectly buried. It was just about 10 feet too heavy. And we're throwing the in turn. player may have more confidence in the in-turn, so can get there both ways.
Yeah, not a word, ladies.
This one's going to be heavy, very heavy. This is through the house weight. And it's temporarily shot there in the back.
With its own backer.
With its own backer, so I guess it's not moving. Oh, it's not shot, it's second stone. So the stone in the top of the house is shot rock. So now a chance for Team Palazzoli to get around the center guard. Sit 2. Sweeping this one hard for weight.
Oh, yeah. Almost 16-second hog to hog.
Yeah, and that's not going to make it. Yeah. 16's a little tough on our ice.
Not
get
quite,
into the
but
house.
Yeah, 15-5.
I like throwing the out turn here.
Definitely.
Or you could take this. Are they just hitting and rolling? Didn't see the call. Looked like she called for a draw.
Unless that was the flop.
Yep. Getting rid of shot rock here would be excellent. Found a little straight spot there, and that did curl up enough not to jam in the back. And this hit attempt over curled, so they found the curly spot. Now Naoka sits 1 and 2. And now a chance to draw in and sit 3. Going to come around the in-turn side. This may not be enough ice to get around that red.
Let's just move the broom out a little more.
I thought they were taking that ice to draw the center line earlier in the game. Let's see if they get around. Shots away.
Further out.
I think threw this a little wide. That may help. Starting to curl now. Now it's bolting. And just not
That's
enough weight.
light. Yeah. I'm not sure if they'd seen anything out quite that far since the first end.
I think that rock was thrown maybe close to the middle 12-foot.
Yeah, it's hard for us to exactly see because we are not sitting behind the sheet. We had one of these two teams was played on sheet 3 last week, so they decided to move the final to sheet 4, which neither team played last week.
So now a chance for Karen Barnes to be the first one into the 4-foot. Weight's looking pretty good. Now it's losing steam.
Yeah, everybody's now figured out. They're trying to find that adjustment point now that the ice is sped up close to normal. That's one of the things a lot of non-curlers don't realize is the ice changes throughout the game. It may start off stiff, pick up, become very fast. It could even slow down again later in the game. Depends on whether other people are on the ice with you or not. I never like being the only game on the sheet. I think the ice plays radically differently.
You know, if
And
there's only
with a
one
full
team
house.
out there, it's a lot harder to bake the frost off. You need a lot more bodies out there. And Naoka's going to have to go way wide now to get around. No one's got a real good scoring rock yet. Everything's in the 12-foot.
But you got to watch out for those. They'll come back to bite you.
Yep, well, they're potentials. Someone should be able to draw the 8, we hope.
Absolutely. These gals have got the 8-foot in their back pocket.
Speed may be a little different out here now. We're way out on the 12.
Yep.
Into the blue out there.
In more ways than one.
Haven't been out there since the first end. So Naoka wasn't shy about throwing this. And it got a lot of curl there. Look at that. It's just going. It's warping. And if that sits down, that'll be a nice shot. Look at that. Right to the 4-foot T-line.
That's a beauty, like I said. That's
Good guess. Good guess on the weight out there. Yeah, you couldn't be shy out there. It had to be a little stiffer compared to the rest of the sheet. That was well thrown. And as soon as the weight came off, it started going sideways. And that rock is actually overburied.
Kathy functionally is taking more ice, even though the broom is just about in the same spot.
So the question here is, would you ever consider just running your red end just to either run it back or open things up so that you have an easier draw with your last? It'd be very hard to get shot rock. Look at our far house. You have to get to the inside of this stone to get shot rock, and that rock is already overburied. I mean, you're actually just looking at cutting things down a bit. Three blue stones counting right now. Yeah, they don't like the look of it. I think they can see that it's overburied, and I like this. Open this up.
Right.
Raise this. If you throw the right weight here, you could raise this red one in and roll away and maybe have second rock and a chance to run off Naoka's stone. I think getting this opened up makes a lot of sense. Just don't want to nose this red.
Yeah, that one's not
and
curling.
then set it out wide, and it's going to miss everything.
Oh.
And now, trouble for Team Palazzoli. Looking for a guard here. You don't want to hit that red one. I might have been trying to go around there again. That was very aggressive, but even a guard would have been fine. And that was not the outcome that was wanted there. Now that blue shot stone is wide open.
Ain't skipping fun. That's kind of attitude, Dad. God, yeah, I love it.
Now a chance for Kathy Palazzoli to escape what could have been a disastrous end. Kathy can now hit this shot rock. Garner her one and walk away knowing that she had dodged a bullet. Sweeping this right out of hand. And they like the line now. Coming right up. And that'll score 1 to retie the game. So at the end of 5, it's all tied up 3-3. As we move into the 6th end of play, Team Law will have the hammer playing the Blue Rocks. Start of the 6th end. Sandy Ciarelli. Looking to throw a tight center. Kathy Palazzoli using the tight line to get to the center. Taking advantage of a little bit of a straight spot on the edge of the forefoot. You can see that now Galah is taking the wider line for this come around. A little more curl coming in from the outside. This one's just got a little more juice.
Yep, 13 seconds. That's going to be.
Going to stop around the back 4, back 8, maybe.
Back 8, back 12.
Yep, just biting the back 12 out, full back 12. And you can see that curled a full 4.5 feet. Cindy Ciarelli coming all around this out-turned side. Line looks really good. How far can they drag it? And they got it. Top 12. Not sure who's shot here. Very close. Maybe blue in the back. That's a good rock. It's mostly buried.
Good example for all our newer curlers out there. The sweepers wanted to go. They communicated that to Kathy. Kathy had to have them hold off for just a few seconds in order to help with the curl. That's why we pay the skips the big bucks to make those decisions. She'd rather have it partially buried and high than fully buried and too deep.
Or not buried in, or fully buried in behind the tee, right?
Right.
Yep.
Or even
just not
buried
yeah.
behind the tee, yes.
Yep.
That one I think they would have had a hard time getting it behind tee, though.
Just clicked the red stone. It's now definitely shot.
And exposed.
And pushed out into the open. And the blue stone that was thrown is a usable stone for a raise. So decision time for Kathy Palazzoli.
She's going to come around or raise it, one or t'other.
That makes more sense.
I've curled with both of those guys in the sharp this year.
Trying to go around to drag in a second shot. And that's well placed. Edge on edge.
Makes the roll under all that much more difficult.
Not ever rolling under here. Need to get rid of it. Have to be
If you
very
wanna get
careful not
rid
to
of-
jam it.
Right, if you get rid of it, you're not rolling under. If you're tapping it back, you
I don't think you're ever getting under. It's a right edge on edge, and there's only 2 feet separating them. I want to make sure you catch this a little high because otherwise it jams on the stone in the back. But of course, first you got to catch it. This is out pretty wide, waiting for it to come in. And now looking to,
suck another one in.
well, they're looking to cover those 2 stones so they can't be removed. They're actually well placed.
And the call was originally to put it top 12, just outside top 12.
Mhm.
But if you tucked in behind, half buried between the 2, she was happy with that.
Oh, I'd love to
As
top
well
that.
she would be.
I'd love to tap that stone on the top 12, just a little bit under that blue stone. That would cut off that raise. The blue stone's still a danger rock on the other side.
Oh, she's got her guard. Well, she got her guard weight.
And it's not a bad spot there. Now that puts some pressure on Naoka. She's going to have to raise her blue stone now to help cut down the score. Even if you can outcount that stone on the top 12, that would be an improvement. Team Palazzolo now sitting 2, well positioned.
Ooh, looks like they're going for
Just a raise.
Angle raise takeout.
No, just a raise. They're calling for a straight raise.
Okay.
As long as you catch this high, you get a good result. Probably need to go hard on this if they've got some contact.
It's funny, they always look a lot harder coming out
Yep.
than they are.
So mission accomplished there.
Cut her down to 1.
Cut down the stones to only counting 1.
That
Something
blue
to-
is still in danger.
It's in the, well, later in the end,
Mm-hmm.
you should look for this raised takeout to remove that blue stone from
Yep.
play. Don't need to do it now, but it's kind of sitting there as a potential threat. Now Naoka could draw in still. She could even come off her own if need be. And the draw is there. So I don't think you need to play the end off yet. You could save that. Just a straight draw. Could get shot rock.
I think they're uncertain as to whether that's in the way or not. And with that ice, it is. Although, as you say, get outside the straighter spot.
I think there's a lot of curl out here, so I'm not going to say that's wrong. That looks reasonable. And that ran pretty straight there.
It's also got a lot of rotation, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, those are lined up not badly.
Kathy will try the port next.
Now, the other option is Kathy could play the in off, get rid of a blue stone in the process that Naoka can use and roll yourself under. And this one's going to be light. Line was terrific. Just not quite enough weight.
Question is, she's blocked off the straight draw.
Well, now Naoka is either looking at the double angle raise or she's looking at the in-off. The stones are lined up kind of nice. Got to smack it pretty good, though. You're taking a lot of energy off, so you just want to hit these stones and squirt that one into the 4-foot area. Gosh, I almost think you got to play hack weight here at least to have enough.
Cindy looks like that's what she brought.
You need to catch that stone probably as thin as you can. This looks really good.
Nice shot. And the audience likes it too.
Yeah, the crowd behind the glass gave a little bit of a woo on that one. They were lined up pretty nice, so as long as you hit that fairly thin. Now the scoring error shrunk down pretty small. Need a piece of the button here to score. See, I wonder what happens if you raise this outside red. Do you open up a path to shot rock? Again, I just wonder if you did this, it would be something usable that you might open some sort of path here for a raise or a takeout. Kathy's looking to play this upturn draw and catch a piece of the button. I think there's certainly room there.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of curl.
And she'll be fully buried if she grabs that piece of the button. So.
Well, it's not light. That's going to go to the back 8, back 12. Now I think a guard would be in order for Naoka anywhere on that draw path. Doesn't have to be anywhere in particular. In fact, probably not in the house. That would just maybe open up a possibility for some sort of run-in.
If they successfully place that, that only leaves her the double one on the red, or the. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong.
I don't see.
Ooh, the run onto the red that I thought I was looking at is not what I'm looking at. She's got, as they say, nothing, honey.
Yeah, there's no way Kathy can use any of the red rocks on the right side to score. I think if not, Naoka can put a guard in this region, all that Kathy will have is the in-off. And that looks like a pretty good guard.
This goes sideways at the end.
But that cuts off the draw path for sure.
It does. A little wider would have visually messed with the in-off.
Now they're looking for angles, but I don't see a lot that's good here.
No, it's buried behind that red that's just outside the house.
Even if you, I mean, you could run this red back, but it's very dangerous. So one of the things they're looking at is, you know, can you take this red and run it back on the edge of this red, right? And somehow kick that stone over. But the danger is if you take this one out, then Nyoka is sitting 3.
Oh, she's sitting 3 or 2?
1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So I think that's just exceptionally dangerous.
She just threw the draw, and draw is her game, so I'm a little surprised they're looking at
This one is very safe. The in-off is quite safe.
No, they're going to go for that. I'm not sure they looked at the in-off. Oh, wait.
I think Karen sees it.
She does now.
Needed to have that discussion earlier before the skipper walked away.
I'll tell you, if they make this, this will be the shot of the game.
I just don't think the angle's there. Yeah, she really doesn't like that shot. I think that's a good call.
She just communicated it down to her skip, and the vice on the other team went, oh, I thought we were going to get away with one.
This makes a lot more sense. There's not much danger of dropping 3 here. You're only dropping 1.
And it's an incredibly tight game. So 1 is not bad.
Yeah, keep the game under control.
And it's the 6th end. You know,
Right, 2 more ends to play. So going for the in-off. Probably not enough energy for the in-off here. Got to throw this pretty hard. That was just barely back house weight.
oh, I forgot to look at the scoreboard. I thought that was hammer.
Now a chance for Nyoka to draw for 2.
Because it certainly opened it up. Not easy, but she just, on the unlike Kathy, she only needs full 4.
Yep. Just needs to outcount the rock on the side of the 4-foot.
Hearing some interesting circus shots being discussed behind the glass for 3.
2's big score here, 6th end. You want to be ahead in the 6th. Already got +1.
Curling hard.
You got to get it there. I should never come up on the sweep.
Right.
They needed it for weight.
Now,
Good attempt.
Tell you, it's so hard as a sweeper not to come up when your person in the house yells up when they're only calling for line, but you're in charge of weight. It's a knee-jerk reaction. You're going to do it.
Yeah, if you know you have to put it on tee line, if it doesn't get to tee line, it's never shot. So even if it's wide, you have to go. If it's got curls to the right spot, but it's a foot short, it's no good. Nevertheless, good end for Team Law. They take a 1-point lead. At the end of 6, they now lead 4-3. They're in control of the game with 2 ends to play. Hopefully have hammer in the last end. So start of the 7th. Team Palazzoli with the Red Rocks. They'll have the last rock advantage here in the 7th end. And they'll probably be going hard for deuce here. Don't want to be tied coming home if you can avoid it. It's a fairly low percentage proposition, but being up 1 without is probably at least even.
Even with the new 5-rock rule.
With the 5-rock rule, I got to think it's about even Steven, right? Although it does favor the team with hammer, but the team with hammer is not going to be going hard for multiple score when they only need to score one. Keep the game going. So again, a center guard that over curls.
Well,
Oh,
no,
that's a
it was
corner,
a corner.
sorry.
She called for
Yep.
the corner.
Missed the first rock there. That must have gone through.
No, it hogged.
Hogged, other way around.
See if it's
So
fudging
good.
up a little or if it's
So
just.
good corner guard for Team Palazzoli. They go hard for their deuce this end. Again, both skips playing this really tight line for center guards. Not playing the swingy line, which you could put the broom out almost on the 8-foot and throw a guard to the same spot. Over curls
nice.
just a shade.
Nice weight adjustment from Monica Spath.
Now Cindy Cirelli looking to throw another corner on the other side. And this one's not moving off this line. Of course, they're sweeping it for weight, keeping it from coming over that center line. It's going to wind up being a center guard. That'll help Nyoka's team. And they have a chance to get around.
Now, would you come this way or would you come the other?
6-1, half dozen the other. They're about the same.
Right, but this way you're much less likely to pop one of theirs in accidentally.
I think in club curling it's safer to come around your own guard.
Mm-hmm. Plus, as we've seen, Cindy does prefer this turn.
Correct.
Jeez, we've got 3 Cindys out on the ice.
Looks like it might be a little tight. They're sweeping it.
It's got weight.
Yeah, it's going to catch the guard, I think.
No, I think they, well,
Yep.
there you go.
Going to noodle it behind the red. And did spin a red one on the rings. That was not ideal for them.
So much for the coming my way.
Yeah, you wouldn't have guessed they would spawn a red one on the rings coming around the intern side. Now a chance for Barb Felice to loop an intern draw around the staggered centers. This one's still floating out, not curling at all. Maybe just a wee bit heavy when it didn't curl.
Well, are we seeing the same straight spot, slightly straight spot on this side that we have
Right.
on the other?
And if you throw any weight in that spot,
Yeah, it's
and you
pretty-
throw it directly into the spot, then it just doesn't curl.
And clearly that was a little heavy.
Yeah, no, because got a little bit wider line here, so this will be the curly line. Again, they went on this for weight immediately.
And they were even calling for help.
Just over high guard. A lot of guards in play now, though. All those guards are going to drive play in the center. Barb Fleece with an outturn draw. And this one's coming up hard. Get this by, it'll be gorgeous. And that's going to go just a shade behind tee line, but it's fully buried. Back 4, back button. And I think
follow her down.
Nyoka's going to have to ask Cindy Brown to follow that down. Anywhere on the draw path would be great. You want to outcount that rock on the top 12 for sure.
If she's able to freeze it perfectly.
Freeze, you might steal the end.
There's not room for another rock in there.
There's only room for one. What you don't want to do is overthrow this and wind bouncing off to the back 8. You really need to keep this rock above shot stone, beyond the draw path. And Barb Fleece just barely got by. I think this hooks very hard at the end, so wouldn't be shy about sweeping. This is cutting hard. I think they're on the guard. It's just that much less weight. The good news is that draw path's been cut off, but there's still an in-turn draw. Still got a draw path this way. And that would be to sit 3. That would break the game wide open if you can get some rocks in. It'd be very difficult for Nyoka to neutralize. Go top 8, top 4 here. Really pose some problems for Team Law. Sweepers are on and off.
Well, sweepers like the weight.
Did they miss the sweep call? They're going to get by. They are by. And just keep going.
That's a beauty.
And that's a good spot. Team Palazzolo now lies 3. And very tough now for Nyoka. They need to look to raise something in. They've got no good draw paths. I think the double raise would help.
It'll set it off at an angle that's not great, but
it's okay. This will go behind the corner guard. But what you want to do is you got to neutralize. These two are killing you. Those 2 stones. You can raise the outer one, but the risk of this is if you miss it, you open up another draw path. I think if you tap the middle one, and those look like they're pretty well locked.
Let's see the close-up.
It's hard to get to them. Well, we don't see the guards in the close-up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, our camera angle doesn't allow us a view of that.
Well, you could come with the outturn.
Yeah, you can come with the outturn at this, and it doesn't really much matter where you hit it as long as you hit it with about back 4, back 8 weight, and you should squirt a rock up into the T-line 4-foot area. Anything that just outcounts this rock here, which would also outcount that one, would work. But I think they have to raise something here.
That's an awful lot of ice for that call. Not sure what the final call was.
Well, it looks like they're throwing a raise on the outer blue. Probably need back ring weight here. You want to make sure you hit it high side. It's looking really good.
A little thin. No, 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 no.
And that's going to work.
The wick-whack was necessary.
Yep. Hit it a little high, but good things would happen with the high side. Couldn't hit it low. That would have been disastrous. So 2 red rocks neutralized. That blue one is pretty well protected now. That's sitting on the top 8. But does give Karen Barnes a chance to draw around and sit 2. Really clutch raise there by Cindy Brown.
Yeah, it was a full team shot.
They'll give Cindy credit, though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And Karen's line looked terrific. It just came up a little bit short. And so now Red's only sitting 1, so Team Palazzoli really looking to get a deuce here.
But is that Red in a position to raise?
Well, you can get a double maybe. Tough. You have to get to the outside of the Red, so.
I'm talking about the Red that Karen just threw. That's available for a raise.
It's a tough raise on this blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. You don't want to get embarrassed by raising the blue onto the shot stone.
There is that.
Yeah, this is a potential raise. If you can throw enough weight and get this out the back, you could sit 2. The thing with Naoka is, can she hit this rock on the outside enough to knock this one off the back button? You don't mind hitting this ever, I think. It blocks off path. And you would have to be extraordinarily unlucky to hit that into your own blue stone. Yeah, she's going after it.
Thing is that body language looked like it was almost more of a draw, but they're definitely moving along. No.
They're going to play the wick.
Yep. Well, it's one thing having Cindy for your vice. She can see the plan Bs.
And
oh my goodness.
That rolled in behind the red stone, which makes it unusable. That was extraordinarily fortunate. That was a nice wick. Good plan B there.
Yeah, it pays to have an experienced. It pays to have somebody who has the guts to go to plan B soon enough. Doesn't matter whether it's an experienced skip or a new skip, as long as they know, okay.
So the thing
weight
about,
has been communicated. This is our situation. All right, let's go for plan B.
So the thing about that rock is now this raise, which they were hoping they could play, is no longer available because that blue rock is now in the way.
Right in the way.
So that was indeed a very fortunate roll. I think that just shuts off almost all potential for deuce. You still got this run in.
And that might actually pop them both out if it's done with enough weight.
This goes that way and that goes that way, but you got to throw a ton of weight. And of course, the bad news is it is very easy to redirect that one onto that one, which would be pretty easy to do. So I'm not sure what they're up to here.
Yes, we don't have our players mic'd, so there's a mic in the shed, obviously. That's looks like an ice for a red raise.
You could go straight back and get a piece of the 4, right? You get it wrong, you run red into blue.
Either that or they're guarding a red onto blue raised by the opposition. This does look like.
Looks like a guard.
Yep. And it's over curling. Little bounce. There you go.
I think if you're Nyoka, you're almost happy to give up one and just say, yeah, go ahead, throw again. I don't know how you score deuce. You'd have to play this wide out-turn draw.
Or a really nasty long raise on the other side on your own red.
I don't see that. Raising that red one in.
Look at it up close.
That looks really difficult.
Oh, I already said it was really nasty.
Yeah, you could do this, right? Hit this one over.
Yeah, it may not go quite
Yep.
that angle.
But in toward the 4 foot.
Yeah, all you need is half 4.
Nyoka's looking at promoting her own, and I think this is pretty low risk, right? Because I think you can raise this one to the pin a couple different ways. As we mentioned earlier, there's the potential that we'll redirect off that stone. So this is not a real dangerous try, I don't think.
Or she could just try the draw around.
It's not going to touch enough, and that was probably a miss you didn't want to make. Now it opens up a draw for 2. And you didn't want to miss that wide. You wanted to leave a stone. Definitely wanted to leave a stone there when you were done. It was a great idea. I think if you hit that stone as much as you can see, you may steal the end.
Again, it all depends on how offensive you want to be.
Yep. Well, Naoka's not been afraid to take risks.
No.
So.
I think that comes from playing a lot of mixed doubles. You get confident in your angles and your lightweight tapbacks and your draws.
Yep. Well, I like the shot call. I think it was a good idea, and I think would really put pressure on the other team, and just your pro side miss would be a little narrower. Still a tough draw for a deuce here.
It's no gimme.
Need a good piece of the 4 foot here. Last stone, 7th end. Kathy Palazzoli looking to draw for 2. Line looks really good. Sweepers are going hard on it. Is it going to get by the blue? No, it's going to wreck on the blue. And really good try, but that's only a score of 1. So we've got ourselves a tie game coming home at the end of 7. We are all tied 4-4.
Couldn't ask for a tighter played game.
Team Law playing the Blue Rocks will have the hammer coming home in this last 8th end. For all the marbles here in the Monday night Mickey Haase League.
Now's the time to keep an eye on what the ice is going to do, especially where we've been playing a lot in the 4 foot. See if it fudges up a bit, gets a little slower.
Should be a little bit slower in the slide pass here by the 8th end.
It would be if they could sweep hard. The only good.
Team Palazzoli has to go all out for a steal this end. 2 guards are ideal. They got 1 in play here. This is going to be the tight one. I'd like to have a tight one and a tall one. I don't mind throwing the high one first. That's the hard one to throw. If you miss the high one long, then you can make it the tight one.
And vice versa. But the high one is visually distracting when you're trying to throw your second, having been there on many occasions.
Like a Spath being asked to come directly around.
Now we can see with 13-second ice, is that hog to hog? Yeah, it's still sliding well.
Still quick. Back 8. So Nyoka staying aggressive, coming right around with the center guard. Kathy's having Cindy Cirelli come right around But don't mind the second guard here. Second guard is just fine. Probably need 2 to steal.
Well, she's got 2. They're just
They're side by side, so
but they're slightly overlapped.
They're
Well,
removable.
no, they're not.
They're removable at the same time if you wish. Need to throw some weight at them, though.
Couldn't double them out, but you're then would be sticking and providing yet another guard, yes?
No, I think you'll spin off both. If you hit the high one first, spin off the back one with enough weight. You just got to make sure you hit the top one pretty thin.
Ah.
So that you get the second one all the way through.
Mm-hmm. This is curling.
Trying to get right around here, and this one may wreck. So this will create a log jam up front.
Last thing Naoka wants with hammer.
Yeah, now we're going to get stuck in a come-around game.
Mm-hmm.
The only good news is if you pound the blue, I think you're losing everything. But the bad news is that middle red probably redirects directly back onto the blue stone in the back 12 or back 8.
No, I don't think you'll see the women go after
Yep.
it.
Barb Felice coming around on the outturn side. This one's curling up nice. And we have the distance. Weight looks really good. And is that going to get far enough? It's going to be, that might be just enough. That may be shot stone. It's exposed.
You have to go after it. You don't even want to draw in first.
Yeah, and it may jam in the back too. It's a little tough, but I think you need to get rid of that stone. It's cutting off one of your draw paths. Don't worry about that stone in the back. I think you got to kill it if you. It's a tough call because if you wreck on the guard, I think the guard goes straight back into the house because it's locked onto the side of that other red stone. But I think it's got to go.
I think it's got a curl.
And that's pretty wide. Don't know if that's coming back enough.
No, it won't.
It's trying. It's trying.
It may just kick it sideways, which is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, I'm not sure that rock's good enough to steal the end. I think if you're channeling mixed doubles here, you'd throw the in-turn draw, right? Protect that other draw path?
Yep.
I think if you just tap up here, if you don't tap it up perfect, you're still leaving that in-turn draw. And this is just going to noodle it. And you left the double, yep. Now you hit that just off nose. Should be able to get rid of 2 here.
Yeah, Cindy's outturns do run a little straight, so you want to make sure you give her tight ice.
Want to miss it narrow. You don't want to miss her wide here.
Yep.
Make sure you hit a stone. And you're still in business. The line looks better here.
Shouldn't be able to at least remove 1. Uh-oh.
And it's coming in. Very nice.
Spread them.
Got it off the draw path. open things up.
I like coming in because if you're short and chunky, you give this thing some shelter, right? Exactly. You can roll off your own. Sure.
So Karen Barnes with her first. They're trying to come around, and I think this will come up a little short.
Yeah.
And Naoka wastes no time. Going to run that red stone off and roll underneath. Sweepers on it. Looks like they're going to get a nice roll here.
Not much. Just a little bit.
Rolled about just past edge on edge, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it might jam on the red in the back. Or it could jam on the blue in the back, for that matter, if you go after it.
Probably just looking to tap this back and roll under.
Not with that ice. Although that is the line, is it not?
Yep, I think if you throw back 12 weight there, that's got to be pretty close.
That's not back 12 weight.
Coming
No,
with some weight.
Karen can bring weight. She has a really nice hit weight.
They just rubbed. And I mean just rubbed. The crowd likes the double in the back, but those stones are not terribly important. If anything, they were an impediment to everybody, so.
They came up almost a bit too early there.
Yep. And they did get just a little rub going by. So they need to run this stone off.
Uh-oh, this one's...
Got enough.
Well, come on, Naoka, sweep. Nope, but she's got her draw path,
Yeah,
both sides.
Got 2 ways in. From our vantage point, it appears that red is shot, but it shouldn't be any factor.
No, regardless.
I think the game is going to be won here in the 4-foot. So we're down to skip rocks now. So first one into the 4-foot here, buried. Will grab a huge advantage.
And probably the game. At least if it's the top 4.
Yeah, if you can keep it above tee. But right now, Naoka's got 2 ways in. The in-turn line, for the right-handers anyway, is a little bit easier path. Not quite as wide. Kathy's going to try to get there first. This is the critical shot here in the last end. Kathy Palazzoli with her first, and this looks really tight.
I think that one got started a bit.
Yep, I think that was turned in from the get-go. And now I think Naoka's got to play that in-turn draw for herself.
Except for her, of course, it will be the out turn.
It'll be the out turn with her left-handed delivery. Even if you just cut off the draw path here in your top 8, it's going to be a good shot, and that'll force Kathy into the really wide out turn draw to get a piece of the 4. So this draw is a little bit easier. This one's got to go pretty wide around the corner guard.
And again, Naoka would have the slight advantage there being a lefty.
Wish she has to go around the right-hand side of the sheet. She'll get more curl there than Kathy will be from the right-hand hack. Okay, first skip rock, 8th end for Naoka Law. She's looking to go top 4 buried here. Looks like it's got plenty of weight. Now, if they buy,
say line only, ladies.
Need to get this underneath a little bit.
Now. Whoa.
And that's a really good spot. They are fully buried, top 4, almost top button depth. That was a difficult call for the third. You know, do you bring that buried, or do you leave
possibly
it?
Be deep.
Do you show half a rock and stay top 4?
I'll tell you, there's not much of that that's showing.
There's none of it showing, but it can be tapped back. So the question is, can Kathy throw enough weight and get enough curl to push that back 2 feet? She's got to push it back probably 3 feet, right, to be shot. It's got to go out of the back 4.
Possibly even out of the back 8, because Kathy will roll.
Well, she'll be biting. When she gets to the nose, she'll be biting the 4 foot.
If she gets to the nose. Again, this side, this line.
Yep.
That'll be hard.
I'd almost want to take the wide line on this. This narrow line may run straight. Let's see what happens here. Kathy Palazzoli's last rock here in this 8th and final end, looking to tap back shot stone.
She got a little wide, so she may catch the curl.
Mostly a little hot, and that is going to sail by, and that's your game. So congratulations to Naoka Law. She has the best shot ever for skips. Doesn't have to throw her last rock.
Indeed.
Yep. And she is your Mickey Haase champion in 2018, winning barn burner here, 5-4. Excellent game. Congratulations also to Kathy Palazzoli's team for making the finals. They had a tough 4-way playoff to get to this point, having survived the semifinals.
Oh, they did more than survive. They took us out to lunch.
I took you to lunch, huh?
Yes, they did.
So it's always good to get through the semifinals into the finals. As you say, you can't win it if you're not in it.
And we have some more finals coming up this week, do we not?
We do indeed. So tomorrow night at some point, we think it's 8 o'clock, but we'll find out, the Charbonneau men's finals for one of our men's leagues. And then on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, we have the rink final, which is the bottom of the skips ladder, basically for our new skips. Also in our men's league, and that'll be Wednesday night at 8. So for now, hope you enjoyed the game. That was a great one today, a very close one. Congratulations to Team Law, and we will see you later in the week. Hope everybody enjoyed the game. Thank you, everybody.